Okay, so let me make sure that my volume is on. Looks good. Okay. So I've been wanting to do a video that just talks about the two-step process. So whether you're using the two-step process for a value bomb giveaway or a research post, and it doesn't really matter what type of two-step you're doing, the process is going to be the same. There's just going to be a slight difference, and I'll explain. So if I come to this last two-step post that I did on June 1st, this was a research post that I was going to use to have conversations to get people into the last cohort of Lean on Laurel. And you can see I strategically did this post as a way to gauge who would be a really great candidate and who wouldn't, okay? And so I prefaced it with free gift for everyone who gives me their input. Now the free gift is going to be obviously a resource, okay? So whenever I do these research type posts, I always have a free resource no matter which letter they choose. So in this case, I'm giving away a resource that would help them with organic marketing. I have another resource that would help them with Facebook ads. I also have another resource that would help them with YouTube ads and email marketing, okay? So I have all of these resources because I create them, whether it's through live video, whether it's a Google Doc. I want to leverage content that I already have. So for instance, if someone says that they need help with organic marketing, I am probably going to send them a workshop that I did with you guys here in Lean on Laurel. And that is going to show them the amount of support that they get in Lean on Laurel. And so anytime that you're doing these research posts, make sure that you have a resource that is going to help them along, okay? So I'll actually show you how this works, okay? So if I go to this, you could see this person, Drew, said email. And I was like, okay. Now here's the thing. A lot of people will be like, hey, I'm sending you a resource in Messenger. That's not what I do. I asked them a qualifying question, okay? So you can see with Drew, I said, which part of email isn't working? Is it content, open rates, or conversion rates? He says, a bit of all three, but I really haven't done much. Although you would think with the number of people, I'd get more opens and conversions. I said, I'm going to send you a little something in your PM, cool. And what I sent him was my stupid easy email marketing strategy. And I'll actually, let's see, if I go here to Google Docs, I'll actually show you what that particular resource looked like. Let's see if I can find it. Yep, Laurel's stupid easy email strategy. And you can see that this resource, want my help implementing it, join my Lean on Laurel program. And so you could see that I literally gave him a very, very valuable resource that also had video training. Because here's the thing, okay? The more that we can get people to spend our time, especially like binge watching and actually doing something, right? The more time people spend with us, the more authenticity, the more credibility that we give off, right? And so I literally gave them stuff that I give access to you guys. But remember, people don't really pay for information, they pay for access. Like if they see that I'm getting a really amazing open rate with this stuff, right? They're going to be like, wow, you know what? I want to accelerate the process, and I'm just going to ask Laurel about her Lean on Laurel program, okay? And so I keep resources like this for everything. So whenever I am going to start the conversation with Drew, I'm not, as soon as I go into the messenger conversation, what I'm actually going to do here, I'll actually write this out so that you guys can kind of see. So I'll name this now. This is my messenger conversation format. And I could tell you guys, this is what works for me. You might get a feel, you know, for this and figure out something that works better. But the first thing that I do is tell them why I'm messaging, right? So for example, hey Drew, I'm messaging you here because you said that you're having issues with your email strategy. Tell me a little more context, right? So I'll go back here. He says, bit all three, I haven't really done much, although you would think with the number of people I'd get more opens and more conversations. I would say something like, because I want to remember, I want to extract information so that I can diagnose this problem. So I'd probably say, tell me a little bit more context, like how many people are on your list and what on average is your current open rate, right? And so what I'm doing is giving him time to answer, right? Give him time to answer, and then I'll probably go and do the same with everyone else, right? I'll do the same thing. So if I answered him, I'm going to go back, and this is how, like, people are like, how do you do this manually without losing track of who you've talked to? Is because I am commenting back, right? So here we'll see with Joe, right? So she says, I haven't made it to others yet. So organic marketing, right? And so I asked her, where are you stuck? And she said, 2 places, 1, ideas for objections, and then closing a call in the sale. And I said, you did that hoop perspective exercise I taught you the other day, right? So Joe is a member of my $7 program. I had just taught them the hoop perspective exercise. So I wanted to make sure that she had used it, right? Because what you're going to see is that a lot of people who are in your world are going to ask you for resources, but they're not necessarily going to use them. And so I always like, before I give students another resource, I like to see how far they went with a previous resource. And so she said, yes, I'm busy with 7-day organic exercises now. In fact, that call the other day, blah, blah, blah. I said, sweet, link me to your exercise and highlight the one you want to use. And so what she ended up doing was she sent me this exercise, and then I did this, we did the same thing. I was diagnosing her problem, okay? That's the thing. And so give them time to answer and then diagnose the problem based on the information that they have given you. If the value bomb you had in mind for them makes sense, give it to them and shoot them a little Loom video of how they should use it. Okay. Now I know this, it sounds like I'm doing a lot, like I spend a lot of time here, but this is just something that I've got really, really comfortable with, where, you know, once every couple of days I'll check my messenger. But guys, that was the last time I did this was in, let's see, I want to say this was like June 1st or something like that. Yeah, June 1st. You can see 162 comments. So I had a lot of conversations, but that thread stayed alive for like 2 weeks. Okay. So when we do things like this here, right, when we do these things, you're going to start to notice that you might not have to do one each week, like this post, because remember, every time that someone is commenting, it is throwing the post back to the top of the newsfeed. Like I could literally go right here, like right now, if I do this and say, did I get everyone? This is literally, I call it the resurrection strategy. This is going to put this post back in the newsfeed. Okay. So now I'm actually going to get some more comments here coming in the next couple hours. So I'm going to have even more conversations because I'm about to open up a new cohort in Lean on Laurel where, you know, we've got a couple of seats in the program. And so I'm going to leverage this post that I've already done. Okay. So I just want you guys to understand that this process is the same. Whether I'm doing this for a value bomb, the only difference is for a value bomb, they're not picking a choice. They're just saying yes to one thing, but it's the exact same thing. They're going to comment and I'm going to ask them a clarifying question. I'm going to give them time to answer. And then I'm going to move them to Messenger in that third or fourth comment. And then I'm going to start the Messenger conversation exactly the same. I'm going to tell them why I'm messaging them. I'm gonna ask them to give me a little bit more context over what we just talked about. I'm gonna give them time to answer. I'm gonna diagnose the problem based on the information that they gave me. And then if the value bomb that we had in mind for them makes sense, I'm gonna give it to them and shoot them a little Loom video of how they should use it. If the value bomb does not make sense for them, I'm not going to give them a value bomb. But this is why I want you guys to start, you know, leveraging your other content, even some of the content that you're doing with your private students, because it gives them a chance to see what it's like to work with you. Okay. And so a lot of times, if I don't have a value bomb to give them, I'm going to shoot them a Loom video and I'm going to create a messenger, a Google document, just like I did for this video, right? I just made one up and I gave them the framework. I'm shooting you guys a video right now explaining this. That's all I do, is I'm just being helpful. Now, Drew might not need me today. Drew might not need me tomorrow, but if I have helped him in any way, he is going to come work with me. Or, and this is what happens a lot, this is what a lot of people don't think. Joe has been in my $7 program for a while. Joe may not ever be ready for Lean on Laurel, but guess what? Because I take the time to help her, I am going to be highly referable on her list. And I have several students who I have messenger conversations with during these 2 steps who send me clients that join Lean on Laurel. And that's what we want to accomplish with this. It's not just about delivering the value bomb. Like, a lot of people have the misconception that this strategy is to deliver a value bomb and, you know, it's pixeled and we can retarget them. The whole point of this is to have a conversation, build rapport, either gain a client or they're gonna recommend 10 other people to me. That is my entire strategy, is building credibility, making myself highly referable, and just being helpful. Like, this is my sales process. This is literally, like, everything that I've showed you guys, this is how I made my first and second 6 figures, by just doing these types of posts, doing research posts and power content with a value bomb. I could do this day in and day out and just use $5 and $2 ads and be just fine. Okay. If I didn't have my $7 program, that's all I would do, and just enroll people into Lean on Laurel. But I put a cap on Lean on Laurel. I don't want a lot of people in Lean on Laurel. I want to keep it small, the small group that we have right now. So anyway, I hope that this was helpful. And let me, as always, guys, let me know if you had any questions.